Just picked this thing up. 97 F350. That's all one truck. It's not 6 trucks Frankenstein together. Needs a little bit of work. Rocker, floor, stuff like that. Exhaust system. It'll be fun to watch this thing get fixed up. This truck is going to become my new daily driver. Same configuration as the black truck, but this one is automatic. I got sick of shifting all the time with the ZF5. It's not in the best shape, but it's a great base. You know, that's about the only rust that's visible. But you know, little things like this, the door hinges are shot. There's a mouse nest in there. You know, this is all parts that get put in. But you know, it's an XLT 7.3 powerstroke with an automatic, and got a whole lot of parts, accessories to go for it. Engine runs pretty nice. Regular old 7.3 stock. I think this thing is actually bone stock. It's even got the stock intake. These are pretty uncommon. I already put battery cables on it because when I tried to start it last time, the battery cables melted and disconnected. But it does have some issues with rust on the rocker panel. It's kind of a strange spot for rust like this, but it is what it is. But the frame is rock solid. Every place where it usually is rusty, it's solid, which is nice. And it's got the Dana 60 in the front, Sterling 10 1/4 in the back. It's got a nice tailgate, nice bed, and it's got 410 limited slip front and rear. And cool little things like this. Unfortunately, this I'm not sure if I can keep this because the little keeper on the inside rusted off. Let's see what I can do with this. I never really used the vent window on this side, so I'll probably just glue it shut. But you know, it's got the standard locking hubs and flat leaf springs, and this is just plastic up on here. That'll come off. But the reason it's in the shop right now is that it needs a transmission. Reverse works perfectly fine, but it has no forward gears at all. It had a little bit of forward gears when I bought it, just enough to get it on the trailer, but now it is completely shot and it will not move forward at all. So I got a new transmission right there from a junkyard. What I'm thinking happened is that the transmission that's in here, someone changed it out right before I bought it, and the kid gave up on it that I bought it from. And either it's the wrong gear transmission or the transmission that he got was junk. So either way, it's got to get changed out. Not really worth rebuilding it. I don't have the desire to rebuild the thing anyway. I just have it done at a shop. It's too complicated to be doing it in a shop like this. But yeah, this is gonna be a nice work truck. Good configuration. I might eventually convert this into the plow truck. That involves a lot of work, like changing out putting on the plow frames down here, which is kind of a pain. And I have another plow truck that has it's an old IDI system that's on it. It has valves right here. They're controlled by a cable. It works really nice. No electrics on the plow at all, not even lights, because these lights are tall enough that even when the blade is up, these will still illuminate the road. So it's a really nice setup for these trucks. But check out some of the handiwork that the last guy did. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So this cross member is supposed to be on top of the frame. This idiot put it under the frame. So the only thing holding is this little bolt. Then, this U-joint isn't in all the way. You can see it's up on the edge where this little tang is. You got one of those needles laid over, and it will no longer go into place. I gotta replace that thing. Then, one of these bolts is loose for the drive shaft. And these cooler lines are just completely jerry-rigged. These were leaking really bad when I went to look at the truck. I had to bypass the cooler and the radiator because those fittings are rotted off. So, I'm replacing the radiator too. Yeah, this guy should never go anywhere near trucks ever again. I did this. Not good. But this is where the rust issues come in. Cab mount's completely rotted out. This one's actually collapsed a little bit. That's why the body lines don't line up. And I have all the parts to fix this, but this is going to be a big job. It looks like somebody already replaced the floor pan. This little lip here looks like a replacement. And it's got that black coating that suggests that it's a replacement piece. But this cab mount is shot, and the other side is actually even worse. The side's just as rusty, but it hasn't been worked on before, so that's carpet right there. And that's a lot of carpet. So, yeah, the rocker panel is all detached. I got the new rocker panel. I got the new cab mount. I got the outer floor. I might have to fabricate a piece for this, but we'll see. These cab mounts are crusty, the rubber parts. The problem is that the bolts probably won't come out. Well, probably, yeah, they definitely won't come out. So that'll be fun. I may have to source some of those. But other than that, minor detail, this thing's not too bad. Looking at it up here, looks like it had a plow frame on there at one time. So that explains some of this rust. This was a plow truck. Also why the transmission was bad. But somebody did these calipers pretty recently. The front brakes work, but the rear brakes don't. I think it's got rusty brake lines based on this over here. They're steel, so they're obviously junk. Going in with copper brake lines, copper nickel. But, it looks kind of crusty, but even stuff like this, there are no exhaust leaks at all. The engine runs pretty nice, and starts up in the cold. This thing's got potential to be a good work truck. It's got the perfect amount of flaws in it that I don't mind beating this thing up, doing scrapping or moving lumber or whatever else is going to happen with this thing, which is probably a lot, especially snow plowing. That really beats up trucks. But yeah, let's get to it. Transmission job isn't too bad. job today is working on this truck. What's happening here is a whole bunch of stuff. New radiator, new tensioner, new serpentine belt, new idlers. I'm not doing the AC compressor yet because it's cold out. I'll do it next year. Possibly the vacuum pump, we'll see. But basically I'm getting this thing ready for the road. And first, before I can get all this stuff installed, I need to replace these mounts here. So these aren't horrendously bad, but the rubber is kind of flaking away. I have all the new parts sitting right over there. So also what needs to happen is that this whole front end needs to get jacked up so that I can do the cab mounts. Yeah, see, this one is all ripped apart, so it's totally shot. But the big thing on this truck is the cab mounts. Not so much the rubber. The rubber's fine, but the steel is all rotted away because this thing was a plow truck. I have those parts too. They're sitting in the bed. This thing isn't that rusty overall, but the rust seems to concentrate here in these because it fills up with salt and it just stays there because you really can't wash it out. Even with a pressure washer, you really can't get to it. This side is actually worse. This side, the entire bottom of the cab is rusted away. And of course the rubber is fine, but that's the carpet right there. Jeez. This one, the rocker is gone on this side. The cab corner is gone. It's kind of on the edge of needing a new cab. But the rest of the cab is fine. It's really weird how this thing rotted out so bad. Like, the floors, they haven't even been replaced. And it's just weird where exactly this rusted. I guess it kind of makes sense because all the salt spray comes up from the wheels right here, but still, it's pretty annoying. I almost didn't buy this truck because of this. But then I looked on, I think I got the stuff from Mill Supply. I got it from there, and the parts are actually pretty cheap. The cab mounts are the most expensive. They're $60 a side. Rocker arm is another $50. I even got the outer part of the floor, but I don't even really need much of it. It's just this. Although I didn't plan on needing all of this of the floor, so I might need to custom fabricate this little piece. We'll see. But I got a nice MIG welder with gas and some ER70S6 MIG wire, so that'll make pretty quick work of it. Let's see, the whole structure of the cab is kind of sketchy here. Moves, and then the door, that all moves, and of course the hinges are super loose. But look how far off the door seam is. That's not all just in the hinges, that's also some in the cab. Because this bottom section down here is so rotten away. But it's definitely fixable. It's just going to be a good bit of work. It's weird because the other side's fine. The door, the hinges are worn out, but the rocker is in great shape. It's really strange how this thing rusted. So, and I got a new, I'm probably going to take this pad from my other truck so I can get cruise control on this thing. It would be nice to, you can see how far up this door is too. This is all on the hinges though. Because if I pick this up, that's all the hinges. So I got new hinges for both sides. And I got all the accessories for this thing too, nice toolbox. I got my crane in here. I got pump and flow meter, a bunch of other parts over there. This is the tank. This is going to be in the front of the bed, head of the toolbox, and shift it over that way a bit so that I can put my crane here. I got to move my toolbox back for the crane anyway, and in my other truck this was just a dead space and it just filled up with trash and dirt, some leaves and stuff like that, so I figure might as well make use of that space. This is the old transmission out of it, the one that it came with. I think this is the reason that the guy I bought it from sold it, is because his friend put this in, did a terrible job, and this transmission is junk too, like the original one. You know, I got new hood or tailgate cables, and here's some of the parts. Here's the cab mounts. Here's the rocker arm, and I have the other piece of the floor. I don't have a cab corner though, so I need to buy that. But yeah, this thing it actually runs and drives pretty well. It needs a U-joint in the back because it vibrates really intensely when the converter locks up, but this has definitely got potential. I want this to be my new daily driver, so it's kind of a long way from that, but I want to quit driving this thing all the time, because not only is it kind of thirsty, but I would absolutely hate if I crashed this thing. I already had a small incident backing up to a boat trailer and missed the hitch, smashed this tailgate trim. It wasn't in the best shape anyway, but now it looks terrible. And of course it wouldn't be a Bronco if the tailgate was in one piece. So the new tailgate, all the guts work, although the motor is bad. I got a Chinese one. I'm gonna get a good one for the next one. But anyway, back to this. Another cool thing about this truck, it's got this carving in this piece of glass. It's a wolf among the woods. Looks really cool. The only problem is that the handle is snapped off, so I'm not sure. I'll probably just glue this one shut because I don't use this one very much. I use the one on the driver's side pretty often. That one's in good shape. But probably the best thing about this whole truck, other than the price, is the seat. Look at this seat. This is, it's got a little tiny bit of rips here, but on the edge where these all rip apart, it's perfect. Super comfortable, super clean. This is the same seat that's in my black truck, and this is in much better shape. The guy that I bought this from got offered $600 just for this seat. So that's a good find. Oh, it's got this visor too. I like these. But yeah, enough talking. Let's get to work. This will be fun. Alright, so my camera battery died yesterday at the end of the day, but I got this door in with the new hinges. See them there and there. Took some finagling. There's this plate that has the nuts on it, and it fell down inside this pillar. It was very annoying to get it back, but ultimately got it back. And adjusted the doors. This door closes absolutely perfect. And this isn't even lubricated, and this is pretty dry in here, and that needs lubrication too. Closes perfect. One finger. I'm kind of picky about the doors. So, still a mess, but it's definitely getting there. Got the new cab mount in. there. I gotta self-tap it upwards into the floor. I got the new radiator support mount in. I ended up taking out the fender liner. And while I'm doing that, or while it's out rather, I'm probably gonna replace this power steering pump because it leaks from the shaft seal. So I still got another parts order. Also, while it's out, I'm doing all the brake lines. Those are steel. I hate steel brake lines. But the bad news is on this side. The rust over here is pretty severe. I got these patch panels. One is the inner floor here, which I'm not sure is really necessary because most of this is actually in pretty good shape, but up here is really rusted out. I mean, you can see it's just razor thin. And what sucks is it's rusted out all the way up to here. So I don't even have a reference where this rocker panel goes. The only reference I got really is this fender, where the fender bolt goes through, because that's on the new one right there. I'm use that as a reference. And even back here, these are completely rusted out. It's just gone. I mean, if it wasn't so much work, it might actually be easier to change the cab than to fix all this rust. But then I have a title that goes with this, and the numbers are on the cab, so I'd have to get a new title. I mean, it'd just be a ton of work. I did that on the black truck, and it's not really worth doing it again. So I guess I'm stuck fixing this. But, I mean, this thing is just rotted away. See up here, at first glance it doesn't look that bad, but see, it's all rusted away. So I got this new piece here, but this is just shot. And I got this parts truck over here on the other side of the dozer, but that's rusted out too. So I think I just got to buy a bunch of panels, like a floor pan. I mean, I got this piece of sheet metal here. I can probably make this work for the floor pan. Yeah, I can't even weld any of this stuff because it's so thin. It's not looking great, but it's probably fixable. I mean, look how loose this part of the cab is. That's supposed to hold the door shut. Yeah, because it's all rusted out back here. So I think what I'm going to do is put a piece of metal between here and here. Maybe not in the factory location, but just as a stiffener. The rest of the truck isn't that bad. I saw this when I bought it, but it's actually worse than I thought. So let's get to it. Another day in paradise. Alright, you can really see the extent of the rust now. This is pretty severe. So, this floor is just floating in the breeze here. This part of the cab is completely rotted out, also floating in the breeze. This door hinge is rotted out. I mean, that's a little better, but still. I mean, it's just paper thin. And there's a huge mouse nest in here, which is part of the HVAC system. You can see the debris here. So that's what the smell is from. While I'm here, might as well do the up pipes. Anyway, I got new door hinges. this will be easier on this side because on the other side it was a struggle to line it up because I couldn't actually see the lines. But with these I can actually scribe this and put the hinges back where they were. Even though they weren't exactly in the right spot, they were fairly close. But I got some more patch panels. I got this floor that actually fits in here really nice. I'll probably use most of this. Then obviously I got the inner rocker. That was from last time. The inner rocker goes here, somewhere around there. And of course I gotta cut the cancer out of there. It's pretty close. Forward a little bit more. But that's the inner or lower rocker. I guess inner. This is the outer rocker right here. This is really the piece that's gonna fix the structural problems in this cab. Because this goes all the way from one door post to the other. Like that. Obviously it's not completely in place, but it's pretty close. The other side has this too. It has both this one and this one welded together, and then looks like I don't need this piece over here. This is the outer floor. This is actually, I don't know, I have it. I might use it. Also, I have a cab corner for this part and a cab mount. So this goes underneath the floor. Yeah, so I think how this works is this piece is the weather strip, the part that holds the weather strip against here, so that's going to be on the same seam like this. Then this goes in below it under here, and it ties in the A pillar to the B pillar with something structural, because this has the lowest bolt for the fender, and it also has this bolt for the seat belt, which actually rusted out of the old one. That's right here. That's not coming out, so I gotta get a new bolt. It's a weird metric bolt. We'll deal with that later. But these parts actually fit really nice, surprisingly. Because, yeah, I think I'm probably end up using that piece. I mean, this doesn't fit perfectly back here, but also I'm going to be cutting this with a grinder. I'll probably cut it at this body line. Looks like this is where it's meant to be. That's probably where I cut the cab corner to, because if I line this up, obviously this is gone, but that fits in there pretty well. And then the the inner rocker will sit in here like this, in that seam, and the cab corner will bridge that gap right there. So I think this will be enough panels. Seems like I don't need that outer piece, but we'll see. I might use it to fill this in, because there's supposed to be something under here. This obviously not supposed to be open. That's about where that's going to sit. Floor panel fits pretty well. What I'll likely do is, instead of, you see the side was already done. Looks like it's from another truck, but what I'm probably going to do is trim this a little bit. And I'm not doing precise cuts with butt welds and all that. That's putting lipstick on a pig. What I'll probably do is overlap this about an inch and weld it on top, because welding it from underneath is miserable, and I really don't feel like doing that. And there's a little hole over here, and actually I burned that hole while using the torch, so and patch those two while they're here, because I can use this little bit of steel that's still good from this floor, say this piece for that hole, and then that's just a flat piece, so I'll probably put that here to patch the other one. And then this is getting a vinyl floor instead of carpet, because I don't like carpet. All it does is get ugly, filthy, like this one, hold water and cause rust. Look at this, it's gross. So that's the plan. This is some kind of project. Alright, I made a bit of a mistake here. First time I've ever done this, so it's bound to happen. But, you know, the door lines up okay over here, a little wide down there, but the big problem is right here. So, I should have measured it. It was so rusted out that I had kind of no reference. I was using this body line here as a reference, and that wasn't accurate enough. You can see that the bottom of the door is above the rocker. It should be like, geez, half an inch lower, and it's even hitting in there. You can kind of see it hitting the rocker on the structure of the door, and as a result it's hitting somewhere around this area, and it's pushing the top of it in where it's steel to steel up here. So you can even see the rocker panel is just, it's not in the right spot, which really sucks. It's not the end of the world. Probably take the door off again, cut this right at the weld. Hopefully you'll be able to move it down. I'm gonna move down about half an inch. I'm gonna be bending some metal in the process. Yeah, so cut it right on that weld, and then slide it down. Should be fine, because the inner rocker can just bend down a little bit like that. And the other, well, actually there is enough metal back here to slide this down half an inch. So let me just do that. Take the door off again, take the bottom hinge off, and adjust it. Really should have measured this, come to think of it, but yeah, I've never done this before. I hope this is the last time I have to do this. This job is not very fun, but it is what it is. All right, this thing, most of the work is done, but the transmission went bad. So this thing needs a new transmission. And I'm in too deep to this thing to give up now and just sell it. I have like $6,000 in it. So I really need to finish this thing, put a transmission in it, probably a Jasper or something from a local shop. But everything else turned out pretty good. Honestly, it's pretty nice. Obviously needs good cleaning and stuff, but all the rust repair work turned out nice. Clean out the bed. I mean, all I do is kind of just throw all the trash back here, but I'll be bagging it up like this. And yeah, I tried new ATF, a new filter. There's the old stuff. It was all burnt, and the pan was all full of clutch material and all this stuff. So magnet had a lot of metal on it too. Yeah, the thing is kind of shot. Should have known. It was a Facebook Marketplace transmission. I said, "Oh yeah, it's good," but what good is that? So I guess there's going to be another video on this, putting a transmission in it. Geese. All right. Till next time.